So, it's Sunday. Um, Work was as busy as it usually is. Um, Last Sunday we worked was completely a fluke. Back to the same usual super busy Sunday, which we were expecting. Um, but it's okay. Like we got through it. Um, Donor got a little bit rough with you for a second. Started like semi heckling you for a moment. That was a weird thing. Um, and I got a little rowdy with him. But it was funny because people were like cheering me on when I got a little rowdy with him. So that was pretty interesting things. Just trying to stand up for yourself and how things were going at work and everything at the same time. Um, so yeah, pretty normal Sunday at work. Um, yeah. So it's been a really interesting week. Um, every week seems to be really different so far. Um, but you're growing and you're seeing things and hearing things and just having different conversations with God about like what's going on in your life with everything else that's going on. Um, really trying to trust God in the whole process because I don't know exactly where He's leading me at this point, and I don't really see exactly where I'm going, but like He knows everything and He can see everything that I can't see. So um, I just gotta stay faithful and just trust Him in this moment, and everything will work out, right? Like I've been listening to that a lot through a lot of different songs, saying, just stay faithful and everything will work out. God's already working out in your favor, right? Um, so we just keep on doing that. And there's a couple of conversations that we've had talking about, how I mentioned this in like a post I made today, but how as humans we want everything to happen like in a snap, like we want this happening now, but our life is literally a snap in the eyes of God, and He does so many miracles within that snap, but we want things in a snap, and it's just I think it's so crazy how we expect things to happen so quickly when they're already happening quickly in the eyes of God. And God makes time, like He's the maker of time. He controls time. So like everything happens on His time. God is never late. Time waits for Him. Um, and we need to learn to do the same. If time holds reverence to the Lord, we need to do the same. And we just really get impatient in those moments. Like, and I get it because sometimes I feel super impatient myself. Um, Even though I've noticed that I am more patient than most people I encounter, I still feel like I should be even more patient. And sometimes I just don't think I give credit to how God built me. It has really nothing to do with me and how patient I am. It's how God built me to hold that patience, if that makes sense. Um, like the way God built me to handle things is why I am in the space that I'm in. Like the way He gives me to hold patience is how my patience is shown. It has nothing to do with like me. Um, it's just how He built me. So it's been like I see His hand constantly like on my life. Like I can see it. Like I like this. He's really trying to work on my confidence. I'm in a job that should help me with my confidence. I'm in a place that I am familiar with, that I did once before. And even though the job is a little tedious at times, I am decently good at it from what most people tell me. So, like, what's the end goal? What's the strategy? How does this work? I simply think this is just to help me, like, build up my confidence to take, like, the next steps on where he wants me to go. And he'll tell me when I need to move. But right now, I don't feel like I need to move at the moment. Which has been a little bit of a battle because I've been getting frustrated. And I've just been getting frustrated because of, like, just, like, everything all together that's going on. And then, like, it changes from week to week, and then I get caught up in my emotions, and then the emotions make me feel like I'm like, and they're just emotions, and I've been talking about that, like, this whole time, that, like, it's just emotions, and your emotions will change. As you can see, I am different from where I was just last week, just from a few days ago. Our emotions change so rapidly as humans that, like, our ways change. Our emotion affects our ways, and you just gotta stay in there and persevere. And that perseverance is supposed to give you patience, help you with self-control, gives you, like, it all the fruits of the spirit, like the things that people, like, talk about. Like, it's funny how the world says things about how you need to do things, and they're trying to describe things, and honestly, most of the time they're describing the fruits of the spirit, but they don't know the fruits of the spirit because they don't know God. It's funny, like, just listening to, like, worldly sayings versus godly sayings. It's very different. But yeah, how much they are alike, but you can see the whole in the worldly saying because it doesn't include God. If it included God, it would sound the same, but they don't know. And that's what our job is. Our job is to let them know. And people do it in different varieties of ways. I'm just trying to do it based off of my life, just living my life for him and trying to just be his example of the light. Like, I'm not going to be this person that, talks to all these people and everything. I live my life by example. I am a leader by example. Like, I lead my kids by example. I don't ask them to do anything I won't do. And I've always been, like, that person. So, like, I can't tell somebody to do something and then not do it myself. Like, it's not me. It's not my style at all. I'm not gonna say, oh, hey, you need to stop drinking, and I'm over here, like, hitting it back. It's not me. So I think we've been doing pretty well, though. Like, I like how I feel today in particular, and it's not that I'm, like, overly, like, joyful, even though this morning I was, like, when we were driving to work, like, the joy of the Lord just, like, hit me, and we were just worshiping and everything, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic, and it really carried me throughout the day. And there were moments where I got frustrated, but it was quickly resolved, and I was able to just keep working and talk to people and persevere through. Just it wasn't the greatest day at work. Like, it was kind of rough, but I mean, Sundays are usually that rough, so, like, it was to be expected. But it hadn't been that rough in a while, so here we are. I just want to keep on encouraging you. I just want you to know that, like, I know you get frustrated with yourself. I know sometimes you don't like the way you react to things, or you wish that you didn't do that in that moment. But you have grace, and you have more grace than you will ever understand. Not just from God, but from people themselves. And I know you're so hard on yourself, and sometimes you feel like you just mess up, and there's like nothing you can do, and you're not gonna be able to fix it. And then you just have to move on, and you have to keep on persevering, thinking that someone is just thinking the worst of you. But it's really not the case. I mean, I think most people understand that sometimes you just have hard days, and you're just gonna do that. We're humans. And I think most people actually do understand that, you're human and that you're going to make mistakes. Now that people are super critical and they never make a mistake a day in their lives, at least that's how they act. And you understand that you're going to make mistakes. I'll tell people straight, like, if I don't know it, I don't know it, and it's okay. Like, it's okay. But so far, I would say that since everything that's happened, I feel like this year we've grown so much, and we are recognizing that growth, that I'm in a decent place. It's not exactly where I want to be, but it's better than I was, and it's better than I ever thought I would be in this moment. And this all due to God, because I didn't think I'd be here. I didn't think I would survive to get to this moment. So I just want to keep on encouraging you, because I know there are hard days, and I know there are days where you just don't feel it. I know there are days you just don't feel motivated. You don't want to do anything. But you get up, you go to work, you do what you're supposed to do, you acknowledge God, you pray, and that's enough. Like, I know some days you don't feel like that's enough, but it really is. God wakes you up again to have another day. It's enough. And I know you want to give more. I know you want to give everything you have, and you don't want to waste your time, and you don't want anything of yours to go to waste. You want God to be acknowledged. You're doing enough. Just remember that God's will happen, and it will happen with or without you. The way it happens with you is by your obedience. The way it happens without you is your disobedience. So if you're not listening to what God is telling you, and you're ignoring Him, His will happen without you, and that's how you miss God's will. But God's will happen because He doesn't need you to do it. He just wants you to be a part of it because you are His child. And He wants you to play a role in His will. It's your choice. You can do it, though. That's the beauty of free will. I really like where we're at least with this part of ourselves. And I'm hoping that we can grow further and get these insecurities that we have about ourselves out of the way. Because that's the thing that we need to let God work on the most, is that we're so insecure. And I don't really know why. Except for that's probably just how I'm built. Sometimes I feel like it's the way I'm built to keep me humble. Because if I wasn't so insecure, I would probably be, I don't know. Like, it's just, sometimes I've really thought about, like, why am I so insecure? And I'm only insecure, like, in certain things. Like, I'm not in, like, if I know something, I know something. And if I don't, I don't. And I'm fine with not knowing stuff. Like, it's fine. I don't have to have all the answers. I'm totally fine. Actually, it's kind of a relief, honestly, to not have all the answers and be able to say, hey, I don't know this. This is the person who's the expert at it. You probably should talk to them. Like, I don't mind having a working knowledge of most things that I deal with, but like, I understand that I'm not an expert at everything, and I am glad with it. I am totally fine with being a jack of all trades and a master of none. Like, it doesn't really bother me. What bothers me is how quote unquote talented I am, but it's just like it doesn't really fit. Like, I'm really good at a lot of things, but I just don't know exactly how I fit. But I'm not really worried about that anymore either. I just let God work through that. He built me with the ability to understand and learn things at a crazy level, I feel like sometimes. Um, but it's all good. Like, he's constantly working for our good. Like, I really, really feel that. It's not just in the like songs I hear or I rejoice and worship in. Like, I really feel like he's moving things for our good. And I think people really miss out on the goal because they think the goal is for us to be happy here on earth, and God wants you happy, but the goal is heaven. The goal is heaven. Like, the goal is not happiness on earth. That is a worldly thing where the world tries to tell you, like, it's happiness on earth. The goal is heaven. Heaven is going to be amazing. Like, sometimes I think we just get caught up because we're here and we're so worried about that snap. We're so worried about that time, but it's a snap. The time that we spend in heaven is going to be eternity. We won't even remember the stuff on earth halfway through that, probably. That's the craziest part. And we're so worried about now. We're so worried about what's going to happen to us. Well, just wanted to leave you that and tell you that I love you. Talk to you later.